Hello and welcome to another show. Today we'll be exploring the guitar. And I'll talk a little bit about its history, its masters, and suitability for students of music. But first, a warning. You could be forgiven for thinking that the guitar is a simple and easy instrument to play thanks to celebrities such as Ed Sheeran and his ilk that saturate the radio and Spotify these days with their easy listening loop-based pop ballads of love and possibly other topics also overdone to the point of pointlessness. However, you'd only be partially correct. Although the guitar can be pretty easy once a few basics are learnt sufficiently well, true mastery of the instrument is a lifelong wrestling match as intricate as chess and potentially physically and psychologically damaging as climbing Mount Kilimanjaro naked, but for a thin and continually replenishing coating of butter. Mastering the instrument is a slippery slope to climb, but the rewards are pretty good. The guitar has its roots in prehistory, where it was originally used as a means of subduing prey and was in fact invented by the original tool users, the chimpanzees. The earliest example of the instrument was carved from solid rock by a chimp named Angela and lacked the strings or hollow body that came to characterize later guitars. Although records from the time are scant, and what information we do have comes from second-hand sources, most famously cave paintings in the south of France, it's obvious that Angela lacked the expertise to develop her creation in order to express its full tonal capabilities. However, experts in early hominid behaviour such as Dian Fossey and Justin Bieber cite Angela's influence in the development of the cricket bat. The guitar remained unchanged for millennia until its basic design was influenced by instruments such as the viola, which, as an instrument, is a great way to avoid a profitable career in music altogether. It's with the addition of strings that the guitar of the distant past truly starts to resemble its modern descendants. And in the 1800s, Antonio Torres created what many experts believe to be the ultimate ancestor of the modern guitar. As a guitar builder or luthier, he's most often cited with being the first to recognise that the top of the guitar is fundamental in importance in sound production. Torres created a system of bracing the top that was revolutionary, and he demonstrated the correctness of his theory by making a guitar with a wooden top but a paper mache back and sides. Lost to history are the rumours of the proofs that he made other guitars with a mud back and sides or a wool back and sides, and even the infamous guitar with the back and sides made from unicorn horn that sparkled and glowed in the dark. Although Torres guitars were played with the fingers of the right hand plucking the strings, development of new styles of music and the invention of the guitar plectrum made the classical guitar as we know it little more than an expensive way to lose overpriced triangles of plastic. Guitar builders, most famously in America, sought to solve the problem of plectrum loss, and solutions included the creation of plectra shaped to fit snugly around the finger and thumb. Also a strong bonding glue that resulted in severe skin lesions, and the invention of the arch-top guitar that changed the shape of the sound hole to a stylised and narrow F shape and moved it higher and lower on the guitar. These results were partially successful and resulted in the creation of jazz guitar as pioneered by greats such as Charlie Christian, who may have felt that if one were to play fast enough and melodically enough, the sympathetic vibrations the archtop produced would nullify any gravitational waves produced by microscopic black holes that could reside inside the body of the guitar, responsible for sucking in the guitar picks and teleporting them to the underside of cushions on the most awkward sofa in the house. The sofa or lounge chairs of most guitar players are a graveyard of plastic, and when excavated reveal a fascinating cross-section of pick choice of the player's life with the instrument, as well as what snacks they like to eat most frequently. Indeed, so many picks went missing during the height of the popularity of jazz that it is by some sources cited as a cause of the oil shortage in the early part of the 20th century. In spite of the shortage of guitar picks, the instrument was to remain a mainstay in music in America throughout the 1900s due to its compact size relative to the piano and because of the attraction of players to the instrument who were too lazy to learn how to read music and wanted a way to annoy band leaders and music teachers through musical illiteracy. Hence the development and the success of rock and roll. It was not until the creation of the Les Paul solid body electric guitar that the oil crisis was averted and guitar players were able to retain their picks more reliably. Through the use of the magnetic guitar pickup, a technology developed in the early 20th century, the sound hole or the F-hole became redundant and remains on some models only as an illustration of the modern guitarist's stubbornness and refusal to acknowledge that anything made after 1960 is of any value at all. The guitar has enjoyed popularity in musical styles too numerous and tedious to mention. Luminaries and innovators of the instrument include such great as John Williams, Jimi Hendrix, Wes Montgomery and Greg Page. These are just some of the greats who have explored and extended the melodic, harmonic and other icks of the guitar and have established the dominance of the instrument through their playing and advocacy. If you want to give your child or someone you care about the gift of music, then the guitar is a great way to do it. And who knows, your child might be the next Hendrix or Patsy Bisco. Great starter instruments are available at your local music store, and I recommend a nylon string guitar for most youngsters, as they are softer on the fingers, relatively cheap as well, so that you incur minimal loss if your child loses interest, as many do thanks to the attention span of human beings being eroded by distractions such as video games, the internet and the YouTube. Irony is beautiful. If you want to inflict the gift of music on your neighbours, then the electric guitar is second only to the violin in terms of how fast a musical instrument can erode neighbourly relations. There are great options out there for electric instruments, and I recommend buying the biggest, heaviest, most expensive you can possibly afford so as to guilt the student into playing it. Nothing inspires creativity and diligence like crippling debt, as proved by Australian banks and the Australian Taxation Office. When choosing an instrument for another person, it's important to thoroughly discuss the available options and match them to the appropriate music. For example, if your 13-year-old daughter is mad into Billie Eilish, then buying them an Eddie Van Halen guitar is not going to go down too well. In such cases, a ukulele would be more appropriate. Even more appropriate would be to install a mandatory listening regime of Van Halen to reset the child's musical priorities to something more in line with good taste. As with everything else in life, communication is key. The following is a conversation I had with my son about his preference for a guitar and represents sound parenting and acceptance of musical diversity. Okay, Sausage, we're going to organise some music lessons for you, as we discussed, so I can try to live through you and force my unrealised dreams of musical success onto you, okay?
Okay.
So what kind of music do you like?
I like video game music.
I see. So which guitar here out of these ones would be best for that kind of thing?
I think a lot of it is played by piano.
You're not my son.
But Van Halen's biggest song was played on a keyboard.
Okay, the EVH it is. Good choice, huh? No matter which instrument your child picks, it's important that you accept their choice and give them a guitar anyway. This is because as a parent, you've had years to refine and develop your taste in music, where your child is probably overexposed to the influence of peers and their own ideas as to what constitutes good music. Responsible parenting demands that you minimise your child's options so that they make the correct choice. You would not let your child drive or vote until they're 18, neither should you let them have free rein over their musical destiny. Sure, they might develop into well-balanced individuals who are self-confident and creative musicians, but it's far more likely that they'll end up working retail by day and playing keyboards in a 2 Unlimited cover band every 3 months in the salon of a distant and entertainment-starved country RSL. This is what makes the guitar an essential and dominant instrument on the modern stage. Today's episode was brought to you by the alternate reality album Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Underpants, and is the result of Roger Waters leaving the band and being replaced by Eric Idle of Monty Python fame. Have a lovely day. See you next time.